Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Follow Everton. I am Ryan, your host for tonight's show, and I have Mr. Andy Mabs with me. How are you, Mabsy?
Yeah, all good, mate. You?
Yeah, very good. You've been active on Twitter, an 11-a-side team. Would you like to tell me what that's about? Because I think a lot of people have seen it.
Yeah, I think it's just a bit of fun, really. Just set up last night. I think you're involved too.
They've put me up front.
Yeah, you're up front with Astro apparently. Dan Blue,
Hilarious.
Dan Blue's the manager who's going to be on the channel very shortly, isn't he? I believe.
Yeah, that's exciting. Is it actually going to happen, though? I'm actually going to
Well,
play up front at Goodison
I
Park.
don't know. It might have been just a drunken thing last night on Twitter, but if it happens, it happens. It'd be brilliant.
Very funny. We're here to talk about a couple of things, latest Everton news, like a midweek news bulletin. Steve and John from the channel will be on tomorrow at 8 p.m. to discuss Everton versus Southampton away at St. Mary's. So we won't be on that, Mabsy. We're getting a break.
Wow.
But we're on this one.
Yeah.
Of course, and the main focus is that Everton have raised the season ticket prices for 2022-2023, which means the average price has gone up by approximately 10%. I know my season ticket in the Park End has gone from 565 British pounds to 625 British pounds.
Yeah,
So,
but only works out an extra £4 a game. You know what I mean? We pay the same, Bri. All right.
So I want to ask you, really. I mean, there's two sides of this. There really is two elements of the debate. So we're going to cover, as we do on Follow Everton. We're quite pragmatic, aren't we? Really?
Yeah. I mean, I can see both sides of the arguments. Absolutely. You know, there's everything's going up, and wages aren't going up, and supposedly with the People's Club, and they were going up in October. We already knew that. You know what I mean? This has not come as a shock. I don't believe that they were delayed. I think Everton was saying they delayed the price rise because they're meant to be announced in December.
Yeah.
They blame it on Omicron. Personally, I don't believe it. I just believe it was the backlash it would have got on absolutely what we were playing at that time, which technically we still kind of are coming back off a win. So I just think it's unfortunate timing. It's never going to be popular price rises.
No.
But when they haven't been increased for 6-7 years, I can see. I genuinely feel both sides of the argument. I do.
I'm just looking at it now, and I'm going to give you my thoughts as well. And I'm going to try and remain as balanced as I can. I mean, I'm one of a few who can afford it, but I'd rather not pay the extra £50 to watch this turgid style
60.
of 60 to watch. This football at the moment where we're not really competing for anything, and we're kind of at best see ourselves as maybe a mid-table team. But the way I see it is that ticket price increases should be the absolute last resort, because there are far greater. I mean, if we're just going to say this statement: if matters on the pitch were taken care of far more effectively, there would be no need to raise the season ticket prices. And by that, I mean not giving Cenk Tosun 100 grand a week, not giving Fabian Delph 100 grand a week.
Well, I think I've mentioned it before. I think your mate laughed at me. He goes, Mabsy talking about the kit bag deal. It's a bone of contention with me because kit bag aren't doing it for the old fanatics, or whoever they are now, aren't doing it for the love of Everton. They're doing it for a profit. So why can't we just bring it in-house and raise revenues that way as well?
That's one element you can look at. I mean, obviously, it got better
sleeve
distribution,
sponsors.
Yeah.
Sleeve sponsors. I mean, we're the only club. We are the only club in the Premier League not to have a sleeve sponsor now. Where did the Angry Birds deal go? The Revo deal just suddenly just petered out, didn't it?
Well, some clubs in the Premier League are getting £10 million a year for the sleeve sponsorship. And I'm not saying
we're going to get 10 million. Yeah, okay. So you're probably talking like likes of like say Liverpool, aren't you?
No,
And them
Chelsea,
lot.
but they're in the Champions League. What the point I'm
Yeah,
making is,
but
even if we
honestly,
got a
our
million,
main sponsor is we're going to get 10 million for Kazoo, so we're never going to get 10 million from the sleeve sponsor.
the point I'm making is, even if we got £1 million deal like we did with Angry Birds, I mean, Angry
Yeah.
Fans, more like, that would more than substitute for this. And I'm not saying you can't have an increase. I think an increase was inevitable and had to happen. The cost of living's going up. Probably can't do things at the same level they could. But I'm telling you now, if things were done properly on the pitch, we wouldn't have to do it. It should be the absolute
I
last
personally
resort.
think they're creeping up for a reason, and I don't think it's the extra money because allegedly
50% increase before Bramley Moore, I'm sure. 50%.
I think what they're doing is the reasons into the Bramley Moore pricing structure. So I personally think that, believe that it's not really to do with the extra revenue now. It is so, instead of just jump to say, I reckon you're probably looking at £800 for a season ticket.
Yeah.
At Bramley Moore. So I think they're kind of easing your way into it. I feel sorry for people who, I mean, me and you, Bri, are a really lucky position that, don't mean to sound cocky, and I'm very, very fortunate in the situation that it's an extra £60. I don't mean to sound flippant. I really don't, because I appreciate there's a lot of people that are struggling right now, and it's not ideal. It's not good for them, and I'll pay it. And I don't, please don't make me. I mean, I'm in a position where I'm figuring out whether to do 12-month direct debit or just pay it off. That's how good a position I am in. I can do either.
I think what you're trying to say is that you can pay for the season ticket.
Yeah, I can afford
won't make a world of difference.
It's
but
not
for most people,
yeah.
for many people, it's gonna. You can understand why it would be a problem.
And
yeah.
The only thing that concerns me is that I personally don't think Everton care. Here we go, because at the end of the day, you don't renew. There's 20,000 people behind it wanting your seat.
I mean, I rang up to preliminary ahead of this video and asked them how many are on the waiting list. They said 20,000 people on the waiting list at the moment, and the wait is a minimum of 3 years. They said last season 98.4% of fans renewed, and really, I mean, the only chance of getting a season ticket is if someone passes away,
that's
or dies.
Or gets banned for throwing a bottle.
Roger
on the
Tweedle.
pitch.
About 800 tickets available per season. I mean, obviously, Jazz, my partner's family got 3 in the top balcony last season, and I think it's a case of, if you get offered the chance to get one, just get it wherever it is.
Yeah, absolutely, and then look at moving. But I think everyone's got to realise is that if you don't renew, and
it's a closed shop, you're not getting back in.
You're never going to get back in.
That's why
even with Bramley Moore, I personally don't believe that they're going to keep that season ticket waiting list artificially high. Because they're making money off the members by charging you £25. They're making money, selling the general sale tickets. They've not even been announced yet how much is a general sale ticket going to be.
They make more off the general sale. What,
of course
it's like,
well, it's £20 more, isn't it? To take this, it's £30 for us, £50 for an adult now, right?
Just more admin work for them.
What do you mean? It's not more admin work. It's all done electronically. Doing electronic season tickets, electronic everything. It's no admin anymore.
Electronic match tickets.
Print at home tickets, mate. It isn't. It's all computer generated. It's no admin.
So do you think they'll keep it? Say 40,000 season tickets.
I think they will release some season tickets. Absolutely. I think they may release 5,000 extra. I don't think it's definitely not going to be the full 20, because when you increase capacity by 10,000, you've got to keep so many percentage for obviously 3,000 for away fans, and then you've got to keep a certain percentage for general sale anyway within the rules. So you can't just sell season tickets all day long.
Not everyone's bringing 5,500 though as well. They factor that in. They'll know what they're doing, won't they? They'll have looked at the figures.
Yeah, absolutely, and they probably know what the prices are going to be already, and this is the step up to it. This is going to be. It has to be the step up to it now.
So would you say £50 every season till we're there? I mean, that's another 2 seasons, another 150. I actually think
well,
we're going to pay about 900 for the park end equivalent in Bramley-Moore.
yeah, 800-900. I think because I think the main stand in the shite is about £1,000 now for them.
Yeah,
but and again, please don't kill me when I say this, and I hate to say it, but at the present moment in time, the quality of football is worlds apart.
Mabsy, just staying back on the, I know, just
no,
staying
it
on
is though,
topic.
is it? Let's be honest.
Can I ask you about something? The kids, I know we have to create fans for the future, etc., etc. The £95 under 11 season ticket was completely unsustainable, wasn't it? I mean,
yeah, but it's
I'm
only
just
gone
looking
up.
now.
Yeah, of course it was absolutely unsustainable, and yeah, it was a great deal. I think there was a woman I saw that
we're in a different world now. We couldn't fill the ground then.
I think there's a little bit of a there's a little bit of a confusion because there's a woman on Twitter I saw that she was complaining that they'd increased it by like £100, but I think a kid was like 11, so it was going into the kid was already going into the upper tier, the higher tier anyway. The over 11
still so cheap, man. I'm just looking now. It's so cheap. We'll talk about it.
It's still cheap. I mean, some of the concessions still. I mean, Liverpool don't do concessions for over 65s. That's still great.
£125 for an under 11 season ticket. But the thing is, at Liverpool, it's a flat rate. You know, it's a flat price. I don't think they have kids. It's 149 for a 17-year-old.
They don't have concessions, so they don't have the up 65 ticket at 330 for anywhere in the ground. Or so there's still some good deals. I mean, the gimmick is the 90 over 90 tickets. I think that's a bit of a gimmick, if I'm being honest. So yeah,
no one's going the game over
90. How many people do you think do we have over 90? I mean, there will be a few. Absolutely, but it's just a gimmick.
Less than 50.
And then they're saying then that's only until we go to the new stadium as well.
Yeah, Mabs. I mean, it's a complete other argument whether we should have a concessionary price or not. You'd argue that because we aren't successful.
I'm for the concessionary price.
Because we haven't got any success on the pitch at the moment, like Liverpool, we can't justify having a non-concession. You could say if we were extremely successful, it's just get the most for the ticket. You have a flat price. It might be a bit less, but you have a flat price for everyone. And it might help the atmosphere. Maybe I don't know. It's another debate. But at the moment we've got it, and I think it's creating the next generation of fan for us, which is important because, as I said before, we're not successful at the moment, and we need fans to be the next generation of season ticket holders. So I can see why they're doing it, and I'm just looking at the prices. It's £180 for an under 17 season ticket. I mean, even that. I mean, I'm talking from a position, obviously, we talked about before, a position of comfort, but it's still, if you look across the board, it's less than £10 a game.
170 divided by what, 19? It's £8, £8.50, £8.90, £9 a game.
And there's so many different categories: senior, young adult, well,
330 for seniors. So 330 divide that by 19. That's £17 for 18. Oh, so it's just £17.50. Again, it's still a good deal for them. And to be honest with you, it's a good deal for us. I mean, the normal season ticket. It is. Because
I'm looking at it.
It works out, I think, 32, 33 quid a game. So really, it's only an increase for the park end anyway, up to 33 quid. You're not paying 50 quid.
It's the adult season tickets where you could say they're a little bit creeping up. But I'm looking at the concessions, the seniors, the kids, and I'm thinking you're getting a really good deal. You're getting the same as we're getting as adults. The same crap experience, and you're paying a lot less for it. Let us know in the comments what you make of this. Are you annoyed about the pricing? I mean, no one's happy about it, but do you accept, I think is the right word, the increase in season ticket prices, or do you firmly believe that it should not have been done? I mean, from my perspective, I accept it should be done. I think it's a gradual process at the Bramley-Moore, but I also think it should be minimised because there are far more ways of making money. The commercial side of Everton at the moment, not having a sleeve sponsor and giving out ridiculous contracts, should be sorting those things out, and then we won't need to punish the fans, because effectively that's what's happening. The fans are getting punished, and the club know people will renew regardless because it's a closed shop.
Yeah.
I'd be intrigued to know what someone like Steve Ellie thought about this, on the fans forum. So perhaps we should have got him on this video, but I'm sure we'll raise it again. Got Steve Delaney in the comments. Hi, Steve, saying evening, lads. Just a thought.
All right.
How the F could Everton or anybody justify rises in prices if we go down?
Yeah, but the argument is then, Steve, that you get 4 more games. So they would argue the fact, well, you're getting 4 more games. So that's their justification for rises. So, yeah. So, like it or not, so actually, so just for instance, you take the Park End as an example. So, 19 plus 4, so 23 games. So you're looking at a 20, so 625, wasn't it? You said so 6 over 23 game. So it's 27 quid a game. I'm not saying it. This is how they'll justify it. I can guarantee it.
Season ticket holders are getting it.
If we go down,
we're getting it away easy. Really, I mean, I told you I sold the tickets the other day, and honestly, the demand is just incredible. We're willing to pay £50 plus for the tickets, and
well, £50 face value is right.
Yeah, but they're willing to pay more. That's what I'm saying. If £50 is face value, but fans will pay anything to go within reason. The demand is there. They'll sell another 5,000, 10,000 tickets easy. We still got it easy. We need some perspective.
When Dan was doing the briefing, he actually said they don't know the true capacity of Goodison Park. Now, obviously, it's a stated capacity, but what they're saying was they had so many people dropping off the websites when restricted views only left, so they couldn't sell those. It's really hard to sell those seats. So they had thousands of people looking on, but they were drop-offs, if you get me. So they weren't completing the ticket purchase because of restricted views. So they don't know the true actual capacity. I've also heard
some of the seats.
Well, yeah, they are quite literally behind the pillar. Quite literally behind the pillar. You know what I mean? So, and you're only getting £1 off, I think. £1 to sit behind the post.
Stevie would always get me on a restricted view.
Yeah, well, my first season ticket, I could only get a restricted view season ticket. And I grabbed it, and I moved. I moved from Butlins to the Park End, and then moved by you guys. So
yeah, gradual process.
That's how you do it. It's how you do it.
Yeah.
Look, as I say, yeah, it's always going to happen, these price rises, and unfortunately beholden to the club because you love the club and you're not going to give up your ticket.
Okay.
They'll find the money from somewhere.
Yeah. Or fucking get a decent sleeve sponsor and let us off and accept the fact that football's been dreadful, and we should be rewarded for putting through it. Look, I don't know. They do need to, one way or another, they need to improve the commercial outlet. And I think gradual increase in season tickets, it was bound to happen and will continue to happen up to Bramley-Moore. Moving on then, for now, Everton midfielder Abdoulaye Doucoure, the 29-year-old midfielder.
He's back in training, by the way.
Yeah, superb. You've just stolen my thunder,
news.
Mr. Mabs. Talk about him going to play football, international football at 29 years of age for Mali. I'll be honest. I mean, I really hope he doesn't do it.
It's up to him. It's up to him, but
yeah, I'm hoping he doesn't personally. The last thing we need.
I don't. Yeah, I would say I wouldn't want him to do it, but if he's happy, to do it, and that's his choice. I don't have an opinion on it really.
Where does Doucoure fit in now then, Mabsy, with Van der Beek, Dele Alli, Andre Gomez, Alana?
This is the headache. This is the headache that we should be happy to be having, right? Yeah. So that's not for me. That is up to Big Frank to decide. And you know what? This is the sort of things we should be discussing.
Yeah.
Instead of are we going to play? Who's fit? Can't string a team together.
Just trying to cobble a team together. We need to actually have a squad and make decisions.
Actually, we've got competition in the squad. It's amazing.
I can't remember the last time the team wasn't dictated to us because of injury.
We don't actually honestly know who he's going to play, not because we haven't got enough players. It's because we've got players fighting for the positions, fighting for the shirt. It's a breath of fresh air in a way.
Mabs, moving on. Alan's saying regarding the new formation, he's saying he wants to play with 3 defenders in defence because it gives the team more options. He believes it'll be better for the whole team, and I believe that having 3 defenders helps us put more pressure on opponents when we advance. What you make of that? He goes on to say, of course, he gives us a lot of guidance, and he's very hands-on.
Yeah, so I tend to agree. And at the end of the day, given our lack of central defences anyway, then, you know, and our richness now in midfield, yeah, I would tend to be playing 3 at the back.
Anthony Gordon described Lampard as a tactical genius. So I think we just have to...
You know what, though? They're happy. You know, have you noticed that none of the players came out and spoke, but they seem to be free to do so now? You know, saying this is what I think, or I'm happy working under Frank. They didn't say that I'm happy to work under Benitez, did they? No one came out.
I think they were just glad to get rid of him by the end of it.
Right. You saw Gordon at Brentford. You know, when he was getting on that coach, and that smile that he gave when I said, "Time to play Sims." He knew exactly the problems in that club, didn't he?
But Sims wasn't the solution.
No. But he knew, no, it wasn't. Well, we don't know that, do we? At the end of the day, we don't know that. But you know what I was saying is Rondon was getting the game ahead of him. In my opinion, it was either Dobbin or
when he was
Sims,
completely unfit. Yeah. But 3 at the back, 4 at the back. We'll see what happens. I think it's good to have the option of doing both. I would argue we don't have 3 decent centre halves, and so it does help us compensate for that somewhat. But whether, you know, you saw against Newcastle, it didn't give us enough options going forward. So wait and see. And Lampard, we trust as the song goes. And let's see if we can keep this up with a 4-4-2, 5 at the back, or a 4-3-3. Let's hope we get the results. Mabsy, is there anything else tickling your brain right now that you want to...
I'm just thinking of those 2 new chants that we've got for Dele Alli and Van der Beek.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, it's just to seem a buzz about the place. You know what I mean? There's not been that for a while, and I didn't even think that was after. You know, I think after the Spirit of the Blues got to the top, it kind of dipped, and it's never got back there. And I just feel that there's a bit of a breath of fresh air amongst the fans and optimism out this gloom that we're in. And I think Leeds is crucial. I think if we hadn't beaten Leeds, I mean, even Drew would have been a bad result for us. That I think we would have raised serious relegation for there. Now we've got a chance. I'm not saying we're at the woods because, as I say, you know, there are going to be tough times ahead. It's not going to be plain sailing, but we're just going to get behind Frank now, and he knows how to get us. Well, he should be able to get us out of this mess.
Are you going on Saturday?
No, I can't, mate. I'm working again.
You're working.
Yeah.
Right, guys. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, please make sure you subscribe. And if you haven't already subscribed and you're watching us week in, week out, make sure you subscribe. 75% of people are watching and not subscribing. So we think the content is good. If you agree, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the like button across all platforms. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll be back tomorrow. Steve and John from the channel will be doing the match preview for Southampton tomorrow. Mabsy, see you soon, buddy.
See you soon, mate.